Good morning. It is I, your friend, your lover of animals, the guy who brought your grandmother flowers just because. Your King Ginger. Alongside.
It's me. It's Matt. I don't have an intro, but here I am.
I don't either. I don't either. I just say dumb stuff constantly.
No, that's and so do I.
Matthew, how are you?
I'm pretty good. I got a big mess in here.
Big mess. It looks good in there, man.
Yep, directly behind me, it actually does look somewhat better than it has of late. But over there, where you can't see, is a large mess that I'm working through. So
Over there, away from this.
going through. See, I've got three banker boxes down here.
Good Lord, you do have 3 banker boxes. Where are those bad boys going?
Away.
Oh, hey, by the way, I have something for you next time I see you. I just have to take the heads off. I got this because I wanted the head, and now I'm unsure the head will fit right. But I just want that sneery head so bad.
Yes, you can get those cheap every now and then. So.
I did. I got it for $10. I was very happy.
Oh well, yeah.
So yeah, you'll be getting a body if you want it.
Yeah, no, those boxes are all full of wrestling figures that I'm getting rid of. So.
Oh God.
It's
it's a living.
I'm looking at it's like, all right, again, I've got to find out a lot of space, so if I'm gonna have more stuff coming in, something's got to go.
That makes sense.
It's like I don't need more than one of most of these wrestlers, or even one of a lot of them. So I got pretty ruthless. It's like, all right, I don't know who this. I've never seen this person. I've never seen a match. I just bought the figure because it was like a cool look. But
can you give us some ideas of who these folks on the chopping block are?
Like, I don't need 2 Greg Valentines. I don't need a Shelton Benjamin. I don't need Ascension.
Ascension's got parts you can take though.
Oh, I mean, there's definitely parts there, but I've gotten into that trap before of saving stuff for parts.
Oh, I would just sell the bodies. I'd keep that cool shoulder pad.
And that may be where I land eventually, depending on where prices fall on them. I still have to do the work of going through everything and seeing what the values are and what I can actually sell.
Yeah, it makes sense.
But yeah, I'd rather get right now anyway. I'd rather just get more money for a figure than to part it out for a maybe.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a lot of sorting and stuff, but it's just I gotta pare down. I'm thinking I haven't decided if I'm just gonna like do like here's a date or like a year where it's like if they weren't working before that or after that or whatever, I'm not gonna buy. It's more so I can figure out what I'm doing going forward. So because otherwise I'll just do this again. I'm getting better with the WWE stuff, especially just because I haven't watched it in so long and I'm so tuned out. It's like even if this looks like a cool, this is a cool look, I'm not just gonna buy the figure anymore. But I'm still, AEW releases less product, it seems like, so that's been a little bit easier to feel like I'm keeping up with without spending crazy amounts. But I don't know. We'll see.
Makes sense.
We'll see.
Well, I got a couple things I want to do today. I know that we'll be down a few people in chat just because some of them are like, "Hey, I'm going to see Dave this weekend," and I was like, "That's flipping awesome." I mean,
yeah, Kane County.
Oh, that's really cool.
Yeah, we'll see who we get, if anybody, but that's fine. We'll just do our thing.
Yeah, it should be pretty mellow. I got a couple things I want to work on them. So,
all right.
First and foremost is I have to. Let me pull up my. Oh no! Of course, somebody goes and starts playing something on Steam, and I hit a button that tries to say, "Do you want to go play this game with them?" And I'm like, "No, I just want to increase the size of my screen." Also, I might have scared a lot of people off after the horrendous thing that was Bad at Games on Friday. So, yeah, we were here together. Doug and I did, which is a puzzle game, which we've been playing together for a while, trying to finish. I hate it. I I play it because it makes Doug very happy for us to play it together, but it's very frustrating because it's one of those things where I have to do something to unlock a door so Doug can go through, and then he has to do something. So, but we can't see each other's screens because we're in different parts of this place. So you're trying to describe it to somebody, and he has a tendency, like I'm bad at describing it, and I get very frustrated easily. He's trying to break everything down very analytically, and we got stuck in this. The first trap we knocked out like nothing. The second thing, it took us an hour plus.
Oof.
And I was so irritated by the end. And it turned out it was something he had to do on his end. And I kept telling him, like, I've exchanged these parts like a whole bunch of times. Like, it's got to be on your end. No, it's not. No, it's not. And I was like, but it's, I don't have any other options.
Yeah.
It's got to be on your end. So let's think this out. This happened like at least 3 times. And I was like, okay. By the end, it turned out it was something he had to change on his end. After I did a certain thing on mine, which he was like, well, it was not my fault. You had to change this so I could change this. And I was like, but Doug, I changed that 3 different times at your behest. So technically, doesn't that make you the one who is holding us up on that? No, it does not. I was like, oh, I'm going to fucking murder you. So yeah, it's not my kind of game at all. And I play it because Doug loves it a lot. I don't hate it. I shouldn't say that. It's a really pretty game. Like the aesthetic of it is really neat. I like the idea of you going to the Antarctic and finding like this weird like house that's haunted, and there's all these interesting, like there's not really cut scenes, but there's like cut audio of you like hearing these ghosts talk. It's just got a cool vibe to it, but I'm not a puzzle guy.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I like escape rooms and stuff. I enjoy those a lot, but
you might like this then.
I don't know if I would like it in game form.
It's
like I played some stuff like in that vein, and you know, it's either like too like not easy, I guess. Like they have to it almost like because it's not in a game setting, like either it's really obvious like what a thing like
this is not real obvious.
Well, right, and that's the problem. It's like, so either it's really obvious that a thing needs to be used for something, or there's a bunch of shit in there that you're not quite sure what it does or how, and that's a whole different thing. And that almost feels like tricky to me. Like,
oh, it's
like
tricky. It's
well, not like
it's tricky to rock around right on time. It's real tricky.
Not tricky in like, oh, this is clever and I could see where you would figure this out. Like, oh no, you're just like, you're not playing honestly with me.
No, it doesn't do that, but they're very complex little things. And they're built to, it forces you to work together. Like if you don't work together, you're not getting anything done at all. Like you might as well not play. But it's for someone who I like puzzles, but I don't like puzzles as the backbone of the game. It is really hard for me. For Doug, it's like, this is a logic challenge. It plays to the best parts of like how he thinks.
Okay.
And he kills it. Why I don't think I like it as much as he does is because like I'm like very much, this is the answer, let's do it. And he's like very much, we need to explore every single option before we make a decision. And when those puzzles require like 4 steps to get one thing done out of 4, I get real impatient. I don't enjoy like sitting and puzzle parsing for an hour.
Well, yeah, unless, and I mean, I don't know the game, but unless it's the kind where it's like, well, you can only, you know, if you don't do this in the right order, then you'll just fail.
There's not a lot of that, but there are things where if you don't do it in the right order, you'll die.
Okay. Well,
and or when you start a machine and you have to figure out where all the fuses go to match up to stop the machine, like where you're on a timer. I don't dislike those puzzles because they tend to be pretty straightforward and just pretty easy communication of like this color goes this color. It's now activated this thing, so we need to know what the next thing is. What is it doing on your end? This thing was like about piping and like getting the proper piping on each side to get the proper pressure to make the machine work.
Okay.
So each had 4 things to do. But our 4 things had to match up to get it to work, and we had one that wasn't, and it was very frustrating because our requirements on each end were different.
Okay.
So it wasn't like I would do something and then he could see like, oh, then I have to do this. It was completely different machines working in conjunction. So I get really frustrated by that. And he gets frustrated enough to say, well, I'm just going to cheat and look at your screen. Anyway, so Chaos Scar. I need to do a Trevor. I need to do a treasure parcel. So I need to come up with 3 regular tomes, 3 magic tomes. I already know that one of the books was on the elemental chaos. I just need to name it. We'll call it what the hell is dude's name? Now I can't remember. Let's get our notes out. It's not that I think what I didn't realize when I was doing that is like, oh, they're going to keep these books they find and that they use men to fix. So I was like, oh, I don't know what those books are, and I thought they would be like,
yeah.
But instead they were like, what are those books? I was like, oh, okay. Which is cool. I mean, I should have anticipated that.
Right, but yeah, it's also like, well, shit.
But they also did stuff like, this is the beautiful thing about the groups in these rotating games, is sometimes it's hard to get a good feel for what they'll do. Because as it was said in chat multiple times, y'all are petty as fuck. And they were. And it was kind of beautiful.
I mean, that's got to be. I mean, it's got to be a challenge, but fun as a DM to
So I'm starting to like get a feel for like Chris and Zane's group, because I can kind of expect like Chris's character to do the most neutral evil shit. He's neutral evil, and he plays neutral evil right down. Like, I'm going to do the most self-serving thing possible. I don't have a moral compass when it comes to this, so if it requires me doing something real bad, I will do something real bad. I expect like, Zane to be like, do something where it's like, I'm going to try to be sneaky, and I'm not sneaky whatsoever. And when sneakiness fails, which it will 9 out of 10 times, I will suplex whatever gets in my way. So, and Joel's a little easier too, because Joel's very consistent. I'm used to playing with Joel.
Yeah.
That other group that has been playing consistently together, I can expect Michael to try to figure out the best method. Hey, what's up, Mitch? Try to figure out what the best method is. But to be willing, and this is one reason I really enjoyed running for Mike, is because while he'll have his own ideas on how something should be done, if the group is like, yeah, but we want to do this, he'll acquiesce to the rest of the group. He will not make it a tooth and nail fight.
Okay.
I haven't run for Brian, but twice recently. I used to run for him like 10 years ago all the time. I forgot what a little chaotic goblin of a player he is. He's everything. He's very sneaky. He is one of those players who will make friends with NPCs. Like, he will earnestly make friends with them. He'll give a shit about like, oh, I hope that he'll ask, is this NPC okay? Did you say method? Not method, although I do love methods. Um, uh, but like he plays a certain style.
Yeah.
The one who I'm still getting used to running um, for oh gosh, I'm going to forget his name all of a sudden. Oh crap, I can't remember dude's name. Super good guy, and all of a sudden my brain has just run away. Now I feel real bad. I need Darren. Darren, God, I couldn't figure out. I couldn't remember. I kept on calling him Dusty. I think it's because I haven't done a Dusty Road impersonation today, baby. For Darren, so I'm still trying to always get a handle on like where Darren falls on some of that stuff, because he'll do some very inventive things, but he's like one of the nicest people I know. So he's also very quiet because I don't think he wants to step on anybody's toes. Almost to his detriment sometimes.
Yeah.
But I mean, he's one of those people that afterwards people are like, oh man, I really like playing with that guy. And I'm like, yeah, he's great. The one who threw me for a loop and who I should have the best handle on is Cassandra. And if you have not watched the episode or, you know, whatever, they were dealing with a wormling, a brown dragon wormling, which usually like that's like a very small dragon. So the wormlings for brown apparently are a little bit bigger, so it's about the size of a horse.
Okay.
But they're not even like young dragons. They're younger than young dragons. These are like, you know, Grogu-esque as far as they're more verbal than Grogu,
Sure.
or understandable, but they're like Grogu level dragon. Except for, you know, they tend to have like, especially brown dragons kind of demand to have subservience and treasure. Give me your treasure and, you know, give me your subservience. So they got the thing, and there was like a rock slide trap. The dragon sprung out of the ground, like, because it kind of is like a dragon that likes to do trappy stuff. So it like kind of did like almost like a trapdoor spider trap on them.
Oh.
And I expected them, like, my thing was like they'll run into the cave, there'll be a cave in, they'll fall through the sinkhole, and that's kind of where we'll get into the meat and potatoes of things. Cassandra is second level now, and she gets wild shape as a druid. She turned into a giant fucking owl and decided to go into a dog fight with this dragon. Hey, Spike. So one thing we learned afterwards was at second level, you can't turn into a creature that can fly.
Oh.
So she fucked that up. But so did I, because I didn't catch it.
Right.
So that poor baby dragon. Yeah, they were on a rampage to kill that very not poor baby dragon. But she rolled off her ass and I did it. And she basically crippled the dragon. Everyone else got trapped in this cave in. And then it was like she was trying to figure out, why do I try to chase the dragon down and let it go, or do I finish it off?
Jeez.
Because she and other players pointed out that, you know, hey, if you let this thing live, it's probably not going to be real magnanimous about it.
No, probably not.
So that was like a thing where I anticipated she would like, you know, basically tell the dragon, that's what you get. Don't ever come after me. But instead she was like, no, I'm going to murder this thing. So that led to an entirely different thing that I did not expect and had to completely do on the fly. But it was like trying to figure out like where they're like, when they found the books later on, I was like, oh, you can't really read them because they're broken down. You'd need a particular spell to do it. And they're like, well, like, what spell? And I'm like, well, what spell do you think? And they're like, well, probably like mend. And I was like, yeah. And I didn't anticipate any of them having it. Cassandra's like, I have mend, and it's a it's a cantrip. So I was like, God damn it. So then they were like, we're going to fix all these books and then we're going to take them. I was like, okay. So anyway, that's, you know, super short story long. It makes me really happy though to know that someone I play with all the time and who I feel like I know pretty well, since we've been married for like a long ass time. Like I think we had like 15 plus years now, something like that.
Still,
that was on the fly. Yeah. Most of the stuff is on the fly, unfortunately, Super Spike. That's why it's always so uneven. Like Gem Crust wasn't supposed to be in that episode. I was just like, we're gonna do this. This will be fun. I think the only thing you guys see me do my notes. It's pretty much a loose, like here's where I start, here's the points I want to hit, and then we go from there. So let's see what this book was called again. Like all the stuff about like the Fireclaw tribe, that's all like I just wanted to bring them back. And plus I knew Brian was playing, and Brian took a really keen interest in being buddies with Cag, and I was like, I like the idea of like this halfling thief becoming friends with this like kind of sadly put upon, now you're thrust in the position of the eldest kobold in your tribe being in charge, like being forced like keep your tribe alive.
Yeah.
And like overcoming the fact that instinctively you should probably be enemies if you look at like classic D&D, but instead it was like, hey man, you're already doing things I don't expect kobolds to do. I'm going to do stuff you don't expect halflings to do to kobolds. So them becoming like good friends is interesting to me.
Well, yeah.
I'm gonna find this stupid book. I guess. I mean, this is the thing, Spike. I don't think about it being a pivot. I've gotten to the habit, and it's from playing with a lot of absolutely fantastic players, and from playing with other really good players. Spending a lot of time playing with like Zach, and I used to do these massive preps, like books written of prep. And now I don't do that anymore. Now I'm just like, I'm going to write. I really do. I really just do a, I adhere to the lazy DM thing, and I just do my, I do my like 1-page prep. And that's it.
If it works, and
it forces me to be able to think on my feet.
Well, and a lot of it is, yeah, you're going to make you think on your feet, so you might as well go in.
I enjoy it a lot more when I have to do that, because it makes me not get married to anything.
Well, yeah, it's it would suck to be like, all my stuff got left on the cutting room floor.
Yeah. I also can't remember. I know I've talked about this before. I can't remember who it was that was talking about it, who I was watching, but they were talking about like, no, they basically were like, no, and it was a D&D crate, and they're like, no one gives a fuck about your lore. Your players don't give a shit about your lore until it affects them directly. So like, don't spend, if you want to tell a story of your world without your players, write a book.
Yeah.
Otherwise, just let them inspire you to organically build. A limited guide to I won't put it that way. A tome on the subject by Vorin. We're just going to put that. Okay, so we know that they found this because that's the book they could read. So 3 magic tomes, 3 regular tomes, and I kind of want to make them interesting.
Yeah.
Let's see here. So I kind of want to really quickly look and see if there's anything here coming up that might be something we can, like Elves of the Valley. Is there anything? Another thing, with this is it's nice because this is a 4E. Hold on, I'm sorry, Spike. Hey, They love it, and I love it. It does help, actually. Don't. Hey, you got no reason to apologize. Um, let's So I kind of like the idea of it being a book on the Fae. So it sounds like this is something. So I think like we're gonna make it a like this little Feywild pocket. We'll just call it the Valley. And we'll just call this. Is it? I'm trying to remember what a treatise is. Treatise is formal and systematic writing on a subject. Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
Boran's treatise on the Valley. A tome touching on not touching upon. A tome. First hand account of Boran's dealings with the Fae in the Valley. That works. The Fae and the Furious, nice. Detailing's perfect. Perfect, Spike. I appreciate that. I kind of also it will leave a it's a little bit of foreshadowing, I guess. I mean,
yeah.
A has got a ton of different spellings. It does. You know, none of them it feels like none of them are wrong. So don't yeah. It's a weird word because I even spell it FAE sometimes. I mean, I don't know. So we've got one there. Let's see if we can find another one that's like down the hole that might. Oh, what's this? Oh, it's a Dugar. I do love the Dugar. Dwarves that dug too deep could never get back out and were enslaved by mind flayers who genetically changed them so they have all of them have an ability to grow large. And they also have some other like minor abilities. To get out of the slavery of the mind flayers, they made a deal with the devil. The devil, Asmodeus. But their king actually tricked the king of all hell. So Asmodeus had to let them out of their deal once they were free. But the one thing that Asmodeus took from them is they no longer first their skin became like gray. Hence the reason they're sometimes just called gray dwarves. Took the joy of creation away from them. So they still build like dwarves. They do not. It's all utilitarian. So when they tried to rejoin the like dwarven tribes, the dwarves were like, "No, you're not of us anymore," and cast them out. And now they're like, "Well, fuck you then." I love the Drugar. I love the idea of the Drugar. I like kind of their a little bit of their dwarves without kind of the high sense of self. I find dwarves to be haughty in a way that elves aren't. They're still, I think you can play dwarves just as xenophobic and dickish as elves. But I like the idea with the Drugar that it's like they have a reason to hate it, to hate the fact that they were cast out by their own kin for pushing too far. They were left behind, and then they were cast out when they returned. They went through this huge odyssey to get back. At the same time, they lost like one of the main components of who they are. They create, but they don't enjoy it. Um, so let's see here. Is there anything? I'm even tempted to say like maybe these dwarves were dwarves that Vorin knew before they became Drugar. So maybe he knew them as their as their clan, and then they became Drugar after his death. Because I'm kind of saying Vorin was around like 1,000 years ago or so.
Oh, okay.
Beard, if you want to talk, just jump on the damn screen. Stop messaging me on Facebook.
I don't know if he's watching or not, but
So maybe we see if there's something we could. Okay, I'm just gonna say this, dude. If you want to talk, just come on prep school. Gee, oh my god! I know he doesn't want to because he's worried he's just going to come in and be like, "Oh my god, did you read? Did you think? Let's talk about Star Wars." And I'll be like, "Yeah, okay, let's talk about Star Wars." I love that man. He's one of my favorite humans in the entire world. I'm trying to figure out what would be a good way to do that. Is there a name of this tribe? They are Mitch. That is a great. That is awesome. And yes, Spike. That's the thing. It's like they fucking Beard. You're killing me. Oh man, it's so excited. I love Star Wars, but that man, he exudes Star Wars. That's why I like running Star Wars for him, because it just makes him so happy. I'm not seeing like a tribe name or a clan name.
Would it be?
Because Dugar is basically what they're considered like racial now.
Yeah.
And the leader is Barrolg. And maybe we make Barrolg like has been alive that long.
Well, there's also this imp here.
Well, I'm thinking like, so here's my thought when we get this adventure is like way down the road anyway.
Right.
Is that Barlurg is and I'll probably do that when I get to him, is what's a good last name? Yeah, Drugar. They dug too deep and found out. Dug around and found out. Be a good T-shirt, Drugar. Digging around and finding out. What would be? We can come up with a good like kind of last name for Barlurg.
What is? Yeah, is there a description of him that you're going to use in there? Or?
I'm trying to look and see. Those are just guards. The other thing that I love about the Drugar is a lot of them have throat needles, like kung fu style. So like if you're fighting, they'll spit out a needle at you, a poison needle. They keep it like in a. They use a lot of weird stuff, and like more 5e Drugar, they use like they build machines, like machine people. They build like robots, basically.
Oh.
They've stopped taking slaves. They taking. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There's Barlurg.
Yeah, unfortunately, that's just. Let's see if it gives it a. Oh, I love that. I assume you've come to this. He mocks, gesturing to his weapon. Don't worry, you shall have it. That's a great fucking line. But what's the weapon? Oh, you also use elementals. That's great. Oh, he's got a magma hammer. What if their last name is Magma Hammer? Is that too
It's a little on the nose.
Nick with hot magma?
Let's see here.
So I was gonna say Brimstone too, and Brimstone is way too on the nose. Although it has a really good alliteration to it. Barlurg, Brimstone.
Let's see here.
On the nose is fun. You were right, Spike. It is a hammer. When in doubt with dwarves, it's an axe or a hammer.
Apparently, beetle is an old term for hammer.
What is?
Beetle.
Oh, yeah. Beil?
No, Beetle.
Beetle is?
Yeah.
Did not know that. What is a beal then? What am I thinking with beal? Oh, it's a large, roundish swelling on the body. Is a beal. Although there's pictures of axes.
Oh. Yeah. Ash beetle, slag beetle.
A beal is a hatchet.
Okay.
What if we forgot how hi man. Yeah, I forgot. Howdy, Mitch. What I like the word beal a lot.
Well,
So what can we put with beal? Bronze beal. Again, I want that alliteration. It's one of the many curses that Stan Lee gave me as a child.
I mean, basalt
Basalt beal?
or beetle basalt? I don't know. Doesn't quite flow.
No. But I also want to refer to him as the Beetle. Like this is like his nickname. Beetles do a lot of interesting stuff.
Yeah.
All right, we're really fleshing this guy out, which I kind of love. So it's going to be on the sojourns of. I can't remember how to spell this all of a sudden because it's a nonsense word.
Yes.
Barulg. All right. Barulg. About Brimbeal.
Yeah.
Let's put something before beetle. Like what would be a good adjective to add to beetle? I like the idea though of him like having what's that impossible machine? I'm in D&D. It looks kind of like a bug that they were. It's a legendary item. D&D epic machine. There's like a super famous one. I can't think what it's called though. But it kind of looks like a. Oh, there it is. There's a picture of it. Kind of looks like a crab actually, but I can't remember what it's called.
Oh.
Apparatus of Qualish, of him like tooting around in the Underdark in an apparatus of Qualish, because you could kind of say it looks like a beetle. The Iron Beetle?
Um,
We're gonna go like this, and we're gonna put beetle. Oh,
Yeah, I'm trying to think of like a metal that would have like properties that like ascribe to his personality.
brass, bronze. They're both metals that are associated with like dark dark dwarves in fantasy, especially like Warhammer. I like the bronze beetle a lot, or the brass beetle, either one. Well, brass beetle, I'm afraid if Cassandra hears it, she'll immediately start singing Brass Monkey. What do you think? Bronze beetle?
Or yeah.
Okay. Okay, one more book, and then we get to the magic. Oh, a bickern is a tool used with an anvil in blacksmithing. I love that name. I feel like it's too long though to put something on the. I don't know. That's a good one. Keep that in your back pocket, Spike. I like that word a lot. Also, I like it ties really well to the electric electrum earwig. Tell us more. Now I'm intrigued. You can't just leave me hanging on that. I need to know more. And all I know about earwigs is they've got a nasty bite, a nasty pincer. I don't know much about them. Otherwise, let's take a look and see if there's anything else we can tie it to.
The big pincher on the earwigs is totally not like it doesn't do anything.
Oh, really?
It bites you with is on the other end. Yeah,
that's weird. I did not know.
They had earwigs. They fucking sucked.
Really?
Yeah, because they cut down a hedge in front of the apartment I lived in and didn't do anything with the roots, and apparently that's what they're all about. So, whole apartment was just earwigs everywhere.
Ugh. Okay, that's the blades, which we mentioned already. We don't need to go into them anymore because they're. Look at that thing, Matt. That's some serious fucking Zardoz vibes.
Oh yeah, that's straight up Zardoz. Ain't nothing else there.
Which makes me very, very happy. Because I like Zardoz.
You know, I still haven't sought it out. I need to.
It's a weird movie.
Yeah, I have heard.
Interesting. It's definitely a John Borman movie. So if you do like stuff like Excalibur, it has kind of a similar feel, like that grandioseness to it that Borman does.
Okay.
I do enjoy this the Madness at Gardmore Abbey because you start the game out playing characters who are there when the big thing happens, and those characters you don't know, they all die. So then you're playing characters who find that you're dead characters later.
Oh.
Oh, there's a deck of many things involved. I really wish someone would have went and either finished this or like was continuing to put content out for it. But
Oh, so nobody's doing anything with the Chaos Car stuff anymore? Or?
it was a 4E thing, and it was in one of the either Dungeon or Dragon magazine, which neither exist anymore.
Ah.
And I don't even think it made it all the way through 4th edition. They just stopped doing stuff with it. But I was able to find almost all of the stuff in one PDF.
Oh, that's nice.
And it was something that I really, really enjoyed when I was playing 4th edition, like reading through it and going, I'd really like to run this, but that looks good. Shoth Gorog.
Shoth Gorog.
Yog Sothoth. He is the gate and the key. So I'm trying to think what I can't remember what those guys are called. They were a race in 4th edition, but they're like crystal people that are made up of what was the barrier between Prime Material Plane and the Chaos Scar. Oh, like the idea that I had to use survivor characters with a mix of psychic characters. That's awesome. Yeah, I love that. Gardmore Abbey is a great box, and you probably get really cheap now too. kind of. 4th edition. People. Shard mines. Okay, that's what they're called. Shard mines. But the whole thing is, they all were part of this gate that kept the far realm at bay, and then they became sentient once it broke. So this entire race of people are just parts of that.
Oh.
Nice, Shaggy. Nice.
It could have been no small feat given how much is supposedly
okay. Shard mines are sentient fragments of the living gate, which once stood at the pinnacle of the intricate lattice of the astral sea. Beyond the gate lay the alien far realm, and the gate's destruction during the Dawn War resulted in the rise of the Mind Flayers' empire. So we are going to. Um, the last book will be on the Living Gate, because that'll give him something to also go. Okay, well now I want to know what this Living Gate thing is,
Yeah.
and since it also plays into later on in this adventure, so what should we call it? Do we call it like the Great Decimation, the destruction of the Living Gate? But I feel
Yeah,
like it should have something to do with like madness and things like that, because the Far Realm is basically like Lovecraftian place, and this gate was keeping it apart, and then when the gate broke, the Far Realm was able to intercede. Um, blank up on
um,
blank
the
a, an incomplete history. Complete history of the structure of the living gate. Research and completed search tome by Voren on is
the headwaters of the Astral Sea.
oh, I love that. Consequences, learn to spellbend. The Dawn War, incomplete research tome by Voren on the consequences of the Dawn Wars. Nation of. Okay, so we got our 3 regular tomes.
Okay.
So let's come up with 3 magic tomes. So should we just do what do you guys think? Spell books, or should we actually have like a magic tome? Or kind of should we do a mix? Because we're gonna do if we're gonna do like a spell book, we can grab interesting spells that are in other books and just list them in there.
Yeah.
But also, I'm kind of curious. Let me see. Let me grab a DMG here, Mola. I can never remember exactly what they have for magic tomes listed in the DMG. DMing. What is that? 133.
I like this. Just, here's a list of. Cut off the one there, but it's. Oh, the formatting on that is a goddamn disaster. But I like the idea of having to grind a percentage of the book into dust and snort what you make.
Oh my god, yeah.
Or
Where'd you find this, Matt?
I just was, looking for D&D magical tomes. This is from some. This is Demi Warlock's D100 magical tomes. I'll just pop that.
I'm trying to think what you would you could name that book. What I'm trying to also figure out what exactly it means.
Well, that's how you learn what's in the book.
Oh, I kind of like the idea. I like that idea a lot. I'm just trying to figure out how it would be functional.
There's this guy's got a list of 100 books there too. So
I also like that idea, Mitch, of it being backwards like Zatanna. Hmm. Oh, there's the apparatus of Qualish right there. Oh, we lost Matt. His giggling caused him to disappear.
No,
There he is.
I'm back. I don't know what happened there, but
There's the apparatus of Qualish I was talking about.
I must have hit the wrong button. But I like that.
I'll see if there's any books in here. I don't recall there are tomes. This isn't a big deal because, like I said, I've got like a ton of books on books. I got a ton of books on books on books. I heard you like books, bro.
Books on books. I dropped one in the.
There's the tome of the stilled tongue, tome of leadership and influence, tome of understanding. Oh, Mitch, that's a good one too. Comes with 50 magically replenishing empty, thin, soft sheets of paper in the back of the book. I like that too. I'm just trying to think about. I think we're going to use that Pentapedes. Pentapedes. I like that. I'm trying to think how to make it as useful as possible.
No, it's not. I mean, I guess it's got spells for poisons and digestive issues and stuff like that. So that's.
So we need to think of spells for that. 5e spells, poisons. trying to think. There's a couple that I'm not thinking of. Let's see if I have any other Bucky Wild spells and any of this other stuff. Magic. Okay, spells.
Spells.
I'm going to deal with that right now. Sorry, guys. Today I'm having a hard time talking and
reading.
My brain is not. I've had a weird couple days with that
stuff here.
I should use this book more. It's so good. Cobalt makes so many great products. It's old. I love this. I haven't really had to use it, got a chance to use it yet, but I do like the idea of it a lot. Okay, so there's nothing there I was super excited about. I think that's probably good for just that tome. I mean, you get these spells. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'd like to put one more spell in there.
Let's see.
I don't want to put Greater Restoration just in there because I know that immediately they're going to be like, when can I start casting this? It's the best.
Yeah.
How about Aura of Vitality? Good spell. 2 more. Let me get 7 spells in that book is pretty good. Maybe Healing Spirit. It's a lower level healing spell. Spare the Dying. Okay, cool. That gives us a good little run of spells. So now let's think of another tome.
Yeah, let's see how I can.
I do like your idea of like destroying magic to learn it, though, Matt. I think I might want to use that as a hook somewhere.
Yeah.
Because that is a very, very, very interesting, like. keep like maybe like that could be a part of that kind of dreaded keepers guild we were talking about. It's like they want to keep it, so they destroy it because that way only they have the knowledge. I like that idea a lot.
Yeah, there's also a thing in here about you can learn the stuff in the book by sacrificing yourself to it, growing its strength, and withering your own by losing one constitution point.
I okay. I want to put that in there. I want to use that right now. I think we need to, but it needs to give you like a bonus 2 points to something else. So what would it give? What would a book like? There's books that you read in D&D and they give you two attribute points. So let's think about what attribute this book could give them, but it would steal your con from you. So my first thought is forbidden knowledge, but that also feels very like tropey. So what if it gave you 2 points of charisma?
No.
What do you think about that?
I mean, you know the game better than I do, so whether that's a fair trade or not,
I mean I think it is, but
okay.
I'm trying to think like how would we like fictionalize that? So I'm thinking it's like someone who's trading like their basic life energy for beauty. So what would be a good kind of way to put that into words? I'm like, the first thing that pops in my head is like so and so's vanity is the name of the book.
Yeah.
You could just call it So-So's vanity.
Or no, I can't
vanity.
resist the urge to do some sort of a joke or a reference, like some sort of D&Dification of like Maybelline.
I was almost also thinking like a Dorian Gray a little bit.
Yeah, but I'm thinking like cosmetics, just like maybe they're born with it. Maybe it's maybe it's Maybelline's vanity.
Do this. We're gonna actually make this real nasty, so it's a threat.
Oh, geez.
So my thought is like to do this, you like have to like when I get this like why do people do that? Why do they feel the need? It's so dumb. I'm gonna use 10.5, so you actually have to put the fucking thing in there. It's like fuck off. No, just put it at 11 or 10. Don't do that. So this is just a placeholder name. So when it gets identified, the person who's going to identify it's going to be like, whoa. This book is a book that if you decide to read it, like there's consequence and reward. So reading this tome causes 1d10 temporary loss of con. If the book is completed, the reader must make a DC 10 con save at their current score. If they save, they only lose 1 permanent point of con and gain a permanent +2 to charisma. That's not right. That's also not right.
You selected the. There you go.
Um, that's a nasty book, but I kind of like it. So what do we think though for a name? Actually this sounds dumb, but I kind of like so and so's.
Yeah.
And I kind of want to use now so and so as a mage with books stuff because there's a weird irony, stupidness to it that makes me very happy.
Or what's his name?
You know, so and so he's was a schoolmate of what's his name, or his first name is what's his name, so and so.
Which might explain why he was willing to trade for charisma, because nobody could remember his fucking name.
I give a little chaos scar book where you have to etch the spells onto your skin. I like that also, Mitch. So I wonder if there's any magic tomes for tattooing.
Oh. Well, I like the idea of like, here's a book. It's obviously made out of the skin of a living creature, and then when you open it or learn it, maybe it becomes the book moves onto your skin. So, and then the only way that that book can be passed on is if you get flayed
How,
and
how,
turn
have,
into a new copy of the book.
how have you ever read or seen the Books of Blood, Clive Barker's Books of Blood?
I'm vaguely aware of it, but
So the kind of premise is this guy pretends that he can talk to the dead,
okay,
and he kind of tricks this like lady into believing him, because he's like when he talks to the dead, they literally write on him.
oh,
And it turns out he's like been playing her the whole time, playing everybody. Then it starts to actually happen, and then like so it's like he's in hell because all these spirits literally are constantly writing messages on him. So people just come visit him, and he's in so much pain, he's like non-functional.
oh.
The book is made of people. It's people. Um, um, yeah, I like this idea. Synonym for how about what's his name's um guide to epidermis etching. Mm,
Or epidermal and inscribement.
I'll also put this up here.
Yes.
Each time it is read beyond once in a calendar year, the con loss doubles. What's another good word for peeling? Stripping? I wanted to be kind of a nasty, like an ugly word.
Flay.
The flaying. Oh, that's good.
blistering.
So I'm gonna say like this would be a book like that Boron had that he was basically like keeping away from people.
Yeah.
This book is obvious made of flash, of canned flash. The reader finds that the spells begin carving themselves into the covered spells. That sentence even makes sense. The reader finds that the spells been carving and manifesting into their cupboards, into
Yes.
their very skin, to their skin. Painfully. These spells.
So is it something where like each spell you read, you gain the spell either as a spell or a cantrip?
Each spell
And
read.
now it's etched into your skin. But would you have to make some kind of a saving throw? Like if it's hurting you.
Here's my thought. You don't spend spell points to cast these spells. You spend hit points.
Oh, well, and is it something where to learn the spell in the first place, not only is it carved into your skin, but learning it could kill you?
Yeah. Oh yeah. This is a nasty book. Each spell read. We're gonna change that sentence. Each spell read. Each spell that is read, memorized, begins to manifest to the skin of the reader painfully. So that's above. Each time this happens, reader must make a DC saving throw.
So you need like a really like low, like just like a kind of a gimme one where it's just gonna like carve something like if they just I mean you could really fuck them up if they is there any you're gonna have any kind of warning on this book or I mean or is it just gonna be like well you read the wrong one and good luck.
I'm gonna get to that. After 3 fails, he is 1d4 with no, I did that 1d4 charisma. For every the first spell only costs the P 1d4.
Yeah, maybe like kind of a
First one's cheap.
well like a poison ivy sort of thing like you just get kind of a rash that spells out the the spell or something.
Ooh. And the spell only manifests temporarily. I love that, Matt, as a 48-hour skin. Um, the book is causing the PC a more obvious and I might put that in there. The more obvious the spell scarring, dubious casters will want in to recreate. Okay. Now we need to find out the spells. I'm gonna get a nasty book to maybe even looking at like the Tome of Vile Darkness as a good place to grab spells. Oh, why are you looking like that? Those are interesting, but I don't want to use them here. I already forgot where the hell I oh, these are all. There's Book of Vile Darkness. All right, I want to use these two books, I think. All right, this is the 4th edition Book of Vile Darkness, so it is very much not as nasty as the 3rd edition, but it's still pretty nasty. I know I have a 3rd edition one floating. I love this picture, by the way.
Oh yeah, that's great.
Let's look for spells. Was there a good contents?
Yeah, I've got
Vile Tome. Is there really no tomes in the 4th edition one? Is this just like running evil campaigns and the like? Huh.
Oh. I mean, flesh armor.
Is that a spell?
It is. Prior to casting flesh armor, the caster flays the skin from a creature of his size and lays it upon his own flesh, wearing it like clothing or armor. Once the caster casts flesh armor, his skin develops resistance to blows, cuts, stabs, and slashes.
All right. Here, I think we're going to use this Librum of the Lost. I love this baleful glare. Their eyes, like, actually, it's like, in this case, like, they would get this one maybe first, even. Their eyes, like, become reddened and, like, they have this constantly on. Maybe. I don't know.
I like, this is a lower level one, but I like it. Forbidden Speech. Which caster makes it impossible for a single creature to speak about a single topic.
Like, I'm trying to think of things that would. I'm off on this. I can already tell I'm completely off on this. I believe the cancer. Oh, we lost Matt. I believe the Cancer Mage was in the 3.5 Book of Vile Darkness. So I've already lost the plot on this a little bit because I'm thinking too much like these things manifest out of them. They're actually just spells. So yeah, I'm sorry. I lost.
Oh, no, I mean, yeah, you could do it the other way.
I like this lockjaw. You lock shut the jaw of a creature in range that you can see.
That's good. I just dropped one in the chat there. That's nasty as hell.
So I think we're gonna use. We're gonna move this so I can see both. So we go walk, jaw. It is in which book am I in right now? Librum lost spells on page. What did you put in the chat? You said, Matt?
Yeah, gut wrench.
That's the one that's from the Book of All Darkness.
Yeah.
I like that one.
Oh, geez. Yeah, there's some good stuff in here.
We'll have to look and see if we need to change it for 5th.
Yeah.
This would be a con saving throw. Enter the target creature royal if its target feels its intestines burst forth, killing it. Oh God, no. We need to think of like a hit point limit for that.
Well, it's 46 temporary. I don't know what the.
One.
I mean, you can tweak that too.
One living creature under 24 HP. Because I wouldn't want to make it a save or die for like a high level creature. That would just be kind of like, oh.
Yeah.
That would be like making power word kill, like it was in like first edition where it's like save or die. Instead of like now where it's like if you have so many hit points, it takes those hit points away, but you don't die. You're just like really low on hit points now, which I do really enjoy.
There's also sadism spell.
We don't have to go full blown like crazy nasty.
I'm just looking at stuff here. That one's not too bad. That's just if for every 10 points of damage you deal in a given round, you gain a +1 bonus on different stuff in the next round.
Oh, I like this Memento Mori too.
Yeah, here's a spell that just causes a paper cut on your tongue.
That's awesome.
On the target's tongue. That
like
just kind of does minimal damage and then gives them a -1 penalty on shit next round because of the pain.
That we're using. I like that a lot.
Yeah, here I'll drop it in. Slash tongue.
What do we want though? We want our first spell to be something that's not crazy. Well, we're gonna call it sharpened tongue. don't care about the
There's a spell
component.
where you can turn your hand into a spider.
I've seen someone die from that spell in a third edition game. It was amazing. So my friend Greg was running. We were in college, and we were captured by the Drow. And Greg was a very, very brutal DM at times, just on his whims. And my friend Josie and Crazy Day were like ready to go across the street to the bar, and they were like, "Let's finish up." And Greg was not having this. He was very frustrated that they wanted to go to the bar and not continue to play D&D. So we were captured by the Drow, and Greg was giving us this how intense this whole thing was. And the Drow matron was telling us all these horrible things that were going to happen to us. And Day's character turned and looked at her and said, "You're a fucking dwarf?" She angrily says no, and he says, "Would you like to?" And she turns his hand into a spider, and it eats his face, and he dies. And Day goes, "Okay, guys, bye. I'm going to the bar." Josie's response to watching Day leave the room, he's like, I turn to look at her and go, "How about a three-way between me, you, and the dead dwarf?" Boom, kills him. He's like, "I'm going to the bar too, bye." I was like,
Wow.
"What the fuck, Greg?" He's like, "Well, we're not going to take it seriously." I'm like, "Well, it's fucking a game, brother.
Yeah.
Just take it down a notch." Anyway, come on, Ben. Learn to type.
Oh, I like that too.
Spider hand, nice. Let's think of just I wanted to think of like one really good like one to have up front. Is
Yeah.
like the enticing thing to make them read. Because what I'm also gonna say is like you can't read it like you can't like you can read it like one spell at a time, but it's still gonna cost you.
Yeah.
Which I need to put in the whole thing about it doesn't cost a spell slot. Spells used are we'll call them etched. Etched spells used to not take up a spell slot, but instead cost a HP value. Oh, Ashen Waste is kind of awesome. A heavy shower of ash descends on everything in a 20-foot by 20-foot radius cylinder centered on a point within range. The area is heavily obscured, and a creature in the area suffers from blinding condition, even if possesses dark vision.
Yeah.
That might be a good one to start with. Because that's very useful, but it's not overwhelming.
Yeah.
And it's enticing because that's definitely a very controlling. I mean, it's a great battlefield control spell. What about barbed flesh? Dozens of barbed thorns erupt from your skin. Any creature attacks you with a melee weapon suffers 1d6 piercing damage with each hit.
Yeah, there's a demon flesh one too, where you get a +1 natural armor bonus for every 5 caster levels. You just grow demon skin. There's one where you can, like, if you're wounded, you can put that wound on somebody else.
Oh, put that one in the chat. That's awesome.
Yeah, I got that one in there. Let me find the name of it here. Bestow wound. I'll drop it again here.
Aura of Pigpen. Nice.
Oh, it's cut off here. Yeah.
Caster's wounded
Let me see.
by an outside force.
Yeah.
They can cast this. They can. They can use a reaction cast this spell.
Mm.
It is a touch spell. Makes the caster's wounds as damage, either 1 point of damage per caster level or the amount needed to bring the caster. I love this spell. It's kind of like Vampiric Touch, but it's like immediate. Don't need that since it's a effect and you're already paying for it.
Oh yeah. And I'm gonna have to drop. I gotta go pick up Danny here. So
I think we're good. I think we got. I mean,
that's a pretty solid book. And I mean, if it's one of those deals where it's like stuff reveals itself as you go, you can always add more to it if somebody really wants to go ham with.
It's 7 spells. 7 spells is what we put in the other one. So I kind of feel like that's really solid.
Yeah, and yeah, it's magic. So if it's like, oh no, I'm just gonna, turn into, freaking, bookman here and go real hard.
Yeah, for sure. I love it. I love it. These are really good.
Add more stuff.
So Matt, you're taking off.
I am gonna take off. Yeah, Tuesdays on Dave Wonder Channel, Sundays here.
What are you guys doing on Tuesday?
Customizing. I don't know what. I don't know. I mean, assuming I don't know when Dave's back, so I guess we'll. I think I'm assuming today or tomorrow, but I don't know. So, yeah, that's that.
Well, kind of wanted to work on this other thing, but I also don't want to work on it because I'm really brain drained. So I think I'm going to drop off and call it. We've been working for, an hour and 40 minutes.
Yep.
My God. All right. Yeah, no kidding. I had no idea what time it was. My apologies. So tomorrow, knock on wood, is Down Mountains. It's the big one. It's what we've been talking about for a while. Hopefully, it will happen. We'll see. I mean, I hope it will. And then, I don't. Oh, Spoopy Boys this Thursday. We're doing a watch along.
Ooh.
I think we're watching The Burning. I'm not sure that works. Can we even watch that on Twitch? It's on Amazon.
If it's on Amazon, you should be able to, yes.
But does it violate Twitch's stuff? Because it's a gory ass movie.
Oh, well, I don't know.
But it does have super young Jason Alexander in it, which I do thoroughly love. Being a gross, like, camp counselor. So maybe we have to figure that out yet. I'm not even sure how to do it. I just know that, or if it's a thing where you guys can watch it at the same time we watch it. I don't know. We're still figuring that out. Then Friday Bad at Games. Maybe we'll do Crafting Kids. We were going to do it this week, but then Doug was like, "Hey, I'm free. Let's do this other thing." And I was like, I didn't hear anything back from James, so I was like, "Okay, sure." So Crafting Kids next Friday if you're interested, Matt.
All right.
And then yeah, that's so it's a busy week, I guess, kind of. Anyway, thank you guys for watching. Hope you had fun. Thank you so much for all your amazing ideas.
Yes.
And for all of your feedback and just your being great human beings. We hope you have a good rest of your weekend, and we will see some of you this week. Bye, maybe Matt. Maybe I'll see you this week. I don't know.
You might.
Bye.